The biggest key advice that I would give people is never take constructive criticism from someone you never want to be like. I know I struggled with that for most of my time and most of my life, having a little bit of authority, too much of authority over how I want to do things in life. And a lot of people struggle with authority, and that's the biggest thing is they walk with more emotions than they do with accountability or logic. They find themselves like trying to be more controlling than they are healthy with the way they speak, the way they move with actions. They're quick to assume, they judge. But we're all human, right? We all act a certain way. We all have a way of like operating. But there's like a level of emotional maturity that comes with it all is like self-reflection. The biggest thing about self-reflection is that you're able to reflect and overthink and calculate and together these pieces of puzzles that are missing through the experiences of why something went bad. Over time, you never truly learn because the complexity of the human mind and the way people operate are just, it's incredibly difficult to narrow down. That's why you gotta really set your boundaries and keep your peace, but also have a level of respect for yourself and keep it respectful for others so that you could receive the same respect. And sometimes you can never receive the same amount of respect because they never grasped or at least deep dived into a level of emotional intelligence to understand that what they're doing is wrong and how they went about it is wrong. They don't think critically, they don't think emotionally, they don't have that third eye open to put themselves in another person's shoes and feel how they feel. The way I like to operate, I like to put myself in other people's shoes and see how they're feeling. Most of the time, people lead with so much insecurities. They're so afraid to admit that they're wrong, that their ego just gets the best of them. Most of the time, I've turned out as the bad guy every single time. It's because these people are so broken. People are so broken that they just never sat down, really sat alone and looked themselves in the mirror and say, hey, I am the problem. Like, there's things I need to change. And this is why I don't take advice from people, because I could see, read, and feel someone's energy the first 3 seconds I know them. It's just like, it's something I've developed over time through experiences and overthinking and self-accountability and really studying the spiritual nature of energy, really just going through those experiences, especially through relationships. It's kind of hard, and I get it, like a lot of people do struggle with authority, but it's just a level of perception that people live in. They live in their perception, and they only know as much as they know until they experience it themselves. So you could try to explain this to people, try to break it down, but nobody will ever really admit that it's true until they have gone through it themselves. And this is why I hate when people criticize someone when you're not somebody that I want to be like. You're not someone I want to be like at all. Something I've learned years ago as I started to become more awake is that I seen the friends that I'm around with were weighing me down more than elevating me. I seen that like the degeneracy and everything that comes along with it just didn't align with what I deeply had desire for in life. I asked myself, I'm like, what am I doing here? The times that you start questioning yourself, what are you doing? Those are the times you spiral down into a rabbit hole, because now you have more questions than answers, but you're able to elevate above society and elevate above people when you start to question things. Ignorance is what keeps you down. Ignorance is not good at all. In fact, I think being ignorant is the most stupidest way to live life, because you live your life in chaos. You live your life in your own terms and rules that don't align with what the real world is really about spiritually. And not only that, you're arrogant. It doesn't need to be that way, but this is. The amount of people that I've met in my life is that have the lack of emotional maturity is absolutely insane to me. how a level of people just don't experience life and live it to the fullest of like what it could be lived like. They live themselves in the dopamine highs. They live themselves with distractions, lust, temptations, temporary satisfactions, and just like the drive to make money, and it's only money, just money, money, money. But like, what is all that without your soul? What is all that without your mind? The lesson today is just like, don't allow people to control you. Don't allow people to dictate your behaviors, because sometimes they don't understand. They will never understand because they just never experienced what you had to experience. And you could be the most level-minded person, you could be the most sane person, and the most insane person will make you go insane because they lack that perception, they lack that perspective, and they're just projecting. They're just deflecting all their little insecurities that they refuse to face in their alone time, and they take it and they put it on you. So that's why I don't really take criticism, because it's criticism is just experiences of other people's life. Whether that life is what you want to live, then you choose to live that. If you don't, oh well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just leave a like, and thank you for tuning on in.